The views and opinions expressed during Eye on the Triangle do not represent WKNC or NC State student media. Your dial is currently tuned to Eye on the Triangle on WKNC 88.1 FM HD1. Thanks for listening. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your day. My name is Emilia Rivadeneira, host of Eye on the Triangle, and with further ado, let's get into some news. Early voting in North Carolina is currently live. The in-person early voting period for the 2024 general election started on Thursday, October 17, 2024, and it ends at 3 p.m. on Saturday, November 2nd, 2024. For North Carolina State University students, TLAC Student Union is actually serving as an in-person early voting site Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., Sundays from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. The general election is on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, and TLAC Student Union is not an election day site. For information about where to find your designated polling location for Election Day, Eye on the Triangle has actually done a voter's guide in which, besides just like adding links to where you can find your designated polling location, we also include helpful resources and websites that you can access to find information on what you'll find on the ballot, learn about candidates through nonpartisan voter resources, and more. So if you want to check that out, visit wknc.org/category/blog/non-music/ and you'll be able to find Eye on the Triangle's 2024 elections voters guide. In other news, the North Carolina State Fair is finally here. This attraction that is honestly for everyone, all ages, and it's the place to be at every fall. From Thursday, October 17 till Sunday, October 27, 2024, residents in the Triangle area and everywhere in North Carolina really will have the chance to just enjoy this famous attraction and this famous just like fair that comes to Raleigh every single fall. And Eye on the Triangle will be there to cover a special program in which yours truly will take you along for the ride. This program, however, will not air next Monday as, per usual transmission at 11 a.m. But instead, this special program on the NC State Fair will be transmitted live on Friday at 11 a.m. So tune in. Next up, we have Menna Elsayed with an interview with the Vice President of the Triangle Lebanese American Center to know more about its role and Lebanese immigrants in the Triangle area.
Hey, this is Menna Elsayed for Eyes on the Triangle, and today I am talking to Sima Haida, the Vice President of the Triangle Lebanese American Center. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us. So we're going to start the show and we're going to talk about the center, of course. But first, I wanted to ask you to tell us more about the Lebanese community here in North Carolina in general. Like, what's the history, if there's a date of when the Lebanese community started to move to North Carolina?
Yeah, of course. So the history dates back pretty far, around the late 1890s. Lebanese started immigrating to North Carolina specifically in search for a better future. And they went into business and it kind of spread across the state. And then that's where we've gotten to today. We have a pretty large Lebanese population here.
That sounds amazing. I guess I have two follow-up questions. First, why do you think, doesn't have to be based on any factual idea, but why do you think Lebanese people choose North Carolina to move to, like, in the US, if there's a specific reason? And is there like a demographic of North Carolina, which cities does have more like Lebanese population?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is also just my opinion. North Carolina is very similar to Lebanon. We have, in Lebanon, we have the beach, the mountains, and snow, and all types of weather. And North Carolina is pretty much, we always say, just a much larger version of Lebanon. So it's attractive in that way. And I think, like most immigrant populations, one comes here and the rest follow, and they bring their friends. There's a lot of business opportunity here, and that's kind of what the Lebanese are best at doing.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I actually haven't made this comparison in my head, but you're right. Lebanon's such a beautiful country with all the nature and the mountains and the sea, and North Carolina actually resembles a lot of that. That makes sense. So now we can talk about Triangle Lebanese American Center, and if you can tell us more about its founding, how it come to be, and what's its mission statement right now.
Sure. So it was founded in 1986 by John Nader and Doumit Ishaq. I know John was American born with Lebanese heritage, and Doumit had immigrated here from Lebanon after the Civil War. And they just came together and they wanted essentially to make a home away from home for the Lebanese that come here. It started very small and now it's grown to over 100 families in the area that are part of our organization. It is centered around being nonprofit. It's nonprofit, non-political, non-religious. It has a board. It's very well organized. Some would say a little bit more so than our own Lebanese government, but it's run by just family generations and it's welcome to anyone that comes from Lebanon or has any Lebanese heritage. So it's grown very rapidly in the most recent years too.
I myself attended a couple of the events for the center, and they're amazing and they're really well organized. So, speaking of that, if you can talk us a little bit more about the activities and events that the center has for the public.
Sure. So our mission is basically to spread awareness of Lebanese culture, share it with our American culture, and then also to be that home away from home for any Lebanese that come here. We have what we say a position that's like a town mayor. So if you hear of anyone who's Lebanese and they're new to the area, we welcome them in like family. Our events are really organized around showcasing our culture and spreading that awareness to our local communities. So we hold our annual Lebanese festival every year. I think we're on our 23rd year, coming up on our 24th year of doing it. Historically, it was held in downtown Raleigh, and now it's being held at our center, which is actually called Beitna, which is in Arabic, it means our home. And we own that property and we're very proud of it. We hold Independence Day events and then we hold educational events. Our organization also has an Arabic school, which is also non religious, non political, and we teach Arabic. It's open to Lebanese, but also to non Lebanese and just English speakers to learn the Arabic language. We have teachers from Lebanon that teach it directly, and then we have local teachers as well, and that's done every week. We have Debeka classes, and so we have several dance groups that do our traditional dance. They perform at our festival. I myself was in our Debeka group for about 20 years, and I coached it as well. And it's just a fantastic way to be in touch with our own culture and then showcase it to the outside world.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I can attest to how amazing your Dubka group are in the events I have been to. And I actually, like, I didn't know that the Lebanese Center had Arabic classes, which is very interesting. And I guess that leads me to the question, and maybe you've touched on a little bit, but who can attend these events? And if they want to attend it, where can they hear about it? What avenues
Yeah.
are there?
So we have a membership if you're Lebanese. If not, you can pay for this membership. It's a very small fee, it's an annual fee. The only thing that keeps you the only thing that is, you know, to get you into our membership is if you join that and get the fee. We have a membership list. We do a newsletter. We're on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find us at the TLAC. um, and we advertise everything on there. We try to do parties and events. The Arabic school is truly open to everyone, and if you become a member, you can join the school. Members get a discounted price, and then they also get access to our building as well for rentals at a discount.
Sounds amazing. So, given the kind of activities that the center organizes, I was wondering with what's happening in Lebanon right now, what role and maybe impact on the Lebanese community here in North Carolina has the center taken part in?
Yeah, so our community has been deeply impacted by what's happening and back home. Many of our actual community members have families that have been displaced. Some of my own family members have fled, and it's really a tragedy. We are working towards a humanitarian effort, so we fundraise for the Lebanese Red Cross and send that back home. We just recently had a 5K walk that was directly for fundraising for the Lebanese Red Cross. And then we just held a vigil on Monday just to show that we're mourning the loss of those lives. I think the TLA as an organization is really there to be the support system for our community while they grieve and be the place for all of us to come together and kind of discuss when we may feel isolated outside of that community. Without our community, I think we would all feel very isolated, and this allows us to all come together.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear this happen to your family. Yeah, I was reading in the mission statement and it was talking about like culture exchange in one of the components, not just social culture, but also humanitarian endeavors. And I feel this is really quite impactful that you work on both avenues, sharing the culture, which is the amazing part of the Lebanese culture, but also not turning a blind eye and just being there for the community. And it's amazing to see like a Lebanese community in North Carolina in the USA is able to provide funds and help Lebanese population in Lebanon. So that sounds amazing.
We do as much as we can. Our big focus is too on education, so outside of tragedy, we do come together and try to sponsor students to come to North Carolina and learn. We're working towards fundraising for Lebanon and for people in our community as well. So
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, I personally really appreciate and I will hope to participate more in this. So now I guess I want to move on to you and just asking you how did you get involved with the Lebanese American Center and came to your role? You said you're a board member and you're the vice president. So tell me the story.
this is a very funny story. It's also probably very similar to most of the people within our community, but my parents moved to the United States from the Civil War in Lebanon, and they made their way to North Carolina. So when I was about maybe 7 years old, I was told that I was joining our dance group, the Debeka group, for this organization. They met a family that's Lebanese and they told them to come to Raleigh, and that's what made my parents move to Raleigh. And then when we got here, we were told there's this organization, there's a Debka group, you should join. So I went unwillingly at the time. But when I got there, I fell in love with it, and I was in the dance group. I was enrolled in the Arabic school. And then I met my best friends, my childhood friends, the closest people to me in my life. They're of Lebanese heritage, and I don't know, my life would be very different without this organization. I stuck with the Debke. I stayed with it for 20 years, and then I coached the many different groups for over a decade as well. And then I got more and more involved. My mother was actually on the board for almost 20 years. She was the vice president, the president. She made her way around. And the same goes for most of our board members right now. Our parents are the generation that started the organization. They ran the board, they organized it, they laid the foundation for it. And now it's their children's generation that's taking over and pushing it forward. And it's nice to see because the children's generation, we are the ones that were born in the United States, unlike our parents who came here from Lebanon. And it has provided us with a community that we wouldn't have without this organization.
Yeah, it sounds like your story is really the exemplimentary story for how the whole community comes together, and then like it's a circle where the community also provides the management of the center. So it's really beautiful. And yeah, when you said the Debeka for children, I remember little children doing the dance moves, which actually worth telling our listeners, like what is Debeka for people who doesn't know it.
Yeah, so that would be a good explanation. So Debki is actually our traditional dance. It involves a lot of stomping and yelling and a lot of shaking, and it's just probably Lebanon's biggest pride, right? We do it to celebrate at weddings and any sort of happy time. Um, we we try to perform in as many events as possible. I know at NC State we've performed at UNC, we've done the opening of the Khairallah Center at NC State. We actually performed for the opening of it. We even performed there was a Lebanese immigrant museum opening for the North Carolina Museum of History. We actually performed at that when the exhibit was still there. We were actually part of the exhibit as well. But the Debke is our pride and joy. But I will say also, I now have children, and my son watches Debke videos every single day.
Yeah, just keep passing the traditions down, I guess.
It's in our blood.
So this leads me to the next question. What personally for you is the activity, your favorite activity that the center has in terms of, you said Debka, you said there's the festival, there's Arabic teaching. For you personally, which part did you, maybe as you said, you were part in the joining in the event. So which event did you like joining and now organizing, being part of the center itself?
Yeah, so I would say our largest event is the Lebanese Festival, and it is also my favorite event because that's where we get to be the most creative. I've participated in the Lebanese Festival for the majority of my life, and now as the vice president, I am very much responsible for putting that event on. So I appreciate my parents' efforts, and now I see how hard they work to put it on. But it is really fun to come up with ideas and talk to young people in our own community that are younger than us and have better ideas. And now we're really connecting to a lot of Lebanese that are coming from Lebanon, and they're coming with fresh ideas. And this organization really provides them an opportunity to say what they want without the politics of Lebanon, which is really nice. It's the basis of our culture, and it's really awesome to get to do.
Yeah, I mean, really well said there. I feel like there has to be avenues to really connect like a beautiful community like the Lebanese community without all the politics that can be involved in other avenues as well. So, with that being said, I want to thank you so much, Sima, for joining us and sharing with us a lot about the Triangle Lebanese American Center here in North Carolina. Thank you so much for being our guest today. And this was Menna Elsayed for Eyes on the Triangle. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This has been your host, Emilia Rivadeneira. Thanks for listening to Eye on the Triangle. For back episodes of the show, go to wknc.org/podcasts. Music in today's episode is Krakatoa by Noah Stark, licensed under Creative Commons.